Ooh, it's time to play Spam in the Can.
While you may think of Spam as something that's less than desirable, this canned meat has quite a loyal following. So loyal, in fact, that Hormel Foods has created a bunch of different flavors. So let's dig right into the 15 best Spam flavors you need to eat.
Spam. Did you bring a can opener?
Spam with cheese.
So cheesy.
The cheese variety of Spam doesn't hold up against, well, any of the other flavors, and that's why it's at the bottom of the list. You would think that you can't go wrong with ham and cheese. It's a classic, after all. Unfortunately, meats with built-in cheese aren't always exactly appetizing, and this goes double for Spam with cheese. Not only does it have a sickly orange color, it just doesn't taste very good.
This is horrible.
Spam with cheese is described as extra processed, and sometimes there's a fun little chunk of, well, something that you can't quite identify. The flavor of the cheese has a distinct hint of plastic to it, which definitely isn't something you usually find inside of your ham and cheese sandwich, unless you accidentally bite into the sandwich bag. But even so, not so tasty. All things considered, it's still a flavor that's worth trying, at least to forge your own opinion and decide for yourself if you really need Spam with cheese in your life.
I gotta have more. I gotta have more.
Hickory-Smoke flavored Spam.
Is that hickory?
While Hickory-Smoke flavored Spam may not be your first choice when searching for a new Spam flavor to try, it definitely sounds intriguing. Some people say that if you're looking for a type of Spam that you can enjoy by itself, this is the clear winner. It tastes great right out of the can, you don't even have to slice it. That being said, maybe you don't want to shove cold, slimy meat directly into your mouth. If not, then frying it is also a great option. Don't worry, the Hickory-Smoke flavor isn't lost during frying. If anything, it's enhanced. However, this one has mixed reviews. Some people say that while it smells good, the smoky flavor is just too intense.
Smoking!
It was compared to liquid smoke, and instead of making it taste extra tasty, it just makes you feel dehydrated. Maybe just eat it with an extra large glass of water. Problem solved. Well, whether or not you liked the smoky taste, this is definitely one Spam flavor to keep an eye out for.
Keep a sharp eye.
Spam Lite.
Blob and blob like.
Ask anyone, and they'll say Spam isn't good for your health. So in order to combat those claims, Hormel Foods created Spam Lite. It has half the fat of Spam Classic, along with fewer calories and less sodium. That's great if people want to enjoy this iconic canned meat without risking their health. However, there is some bad news. Spam Lite's flavor is nowhere near that of Spam Classic. It's downright depressing, especially if you compare it directly against the original. When lifelong Spam fans, spans if you will, were asked about this Lite version, they were enraged.
Furious.
They say that if you're going to eat Spam, you should commit to it. If you want something healthier, go and eat something that's not processed and canned. Well, we're not going to argue with lifelong Spams. Truth is, they know more on the matter than we do.
Who do you think we are?
Black pepper Spam.
I hate black pepper.
Adding black pepper to Spam isn't a new idea. People have been doing it since this canned meat came out in 1937. However, with black pepper Spam, you can skip that extra step. This flavor of Spam has black pepper mixed right into the Spam, and people are relatively happy with it. Sadly, there are complaints that the amount of pepper isn't constant. Each bite you take has a different amount of pepper in it. That means that each bite can range from mild to sneezing uncontrollably in just a few seconds. And when it's at its most peppery, this Spam is downright overwhelming. Don't worry, even though the peppering isn't even, you can still use this Spam in the kitchen. Because the black pepper isn't equally distributed, Spam lovers worldwide suggest that you turn this into a soup. What? Spam soup? Lastly, you should note that there's a little bit less sodium in black pepper Spam than in Classic. So if you love the saltiness of Spam Classic, you're better off buying it and adding your own black pepper.
Cracked black pepper?
Hot and spicy Spam.
These peppers inflict great pain and suffering.
Customers complain that right out of the can, this variety of Spam smells like plastic. They also ask what the difference between hot and spicy is. Aren't they the same thing?
It's not the same stuff. It's very different stuff.
Either way, it still seems like most people in the Spam community are happy with this flavor. For those of you who aren't into spicy food, fair warning, this one isn't for you. But for those of you who find themselves regularly dumping Tabasco sauce onto their plates, say welcome to your new favorite flavor. To make this variation, the creators of Spam added genuine Tabasco sauce to the mix. Fun fact, this Spam also contains mechanically separated chicken. Bonus! Because of this addition, you'll notice a slight improvement in the texture. You can also fry it until it's golden brown without worrying about it falling apart in the pan. Because of how spicy it is, it's hard to eat more than a slice or two of this flavor at a time. Consider yourself warned. Spam with real Hormel bacon.
They think you're Kevin Bacon.
Hormel produces a wide variety of foods such as chili, peanut butter, and bacon. This makes an ideal candidate for a Spam crossover. Not the peanut butter, but the bacon.
Bacon, bacon, bacon.
Unfortunately, while this could have been amazing, you just never really know what you're getting with this flavor. Fans describe it as a hit or miss. Some cans are a delicious bacon flavor that meshes perfectly with the flavor of the beloved Spam. And yet, some cans are full of disappointing baconless Spam. To make things even worse, because there are no visible pieces, there's no way to tell if the bacon is there or not without actually tasting it yourself. Fans recommended only one recipe when it comes to Spam with bacon. First, slice the Spam lengthwise and make the slices as thin as possible. Then, fry both sides on medium-high heat for a couple of minutes until it's brown. It tastes best when it's still hot, so grab a fork and dig in. From your first bite, you'll be able to tell right away if you were lucky enough to get a can with a sufficient amount of bacon flavoring. Even if unlucky, it'll taste good enough to eat, but you will definitely be disappointed.
I want real bacon, not this fake crap.
Oven-roasted turkey Spam. The oven-roasted turkey Spam is made with 100% white lean turkey, or so the back of the can claims. You heard it right, folks. Instead of their classic pork, they went with poultry. While it still has the same Spam texture we all know and love, most members of the Spamdom aren't too happy with the oven-roasted turkey Spam one bit. Fans have torn this Spam flavor to bits, not only on their plates, but on the internet as well. Some say that this is the worst flavor, others liken it to stale cat food. Gotta wonder how they know what stale cat food tastes like.
No more cat food.
Not only does it smell bad, taste bad, and look bad, it also comes with way too much juice. This Spam is uncomfortably wet. The consensus among all who have had the misery of coming across this flavor is the same. Stay away from oven-roasted turkey Spam, unless you're a free spirit and you don't care about other people's opinions. If you really want to try it for yourself, go for it. Who knows, you might just like it.
You stay away from that turkey. It's got an hour to cook. You'll get worms.
Jalapeno Spam.
As long as that's not jalapeno frosting.
Of all the kinds of Spam, this is the only flavor that contains a type of produce. Spam jalapeno is exactly what the name suggests. Spam mixed with chunks of jalapeno peppers. And when we say chunks, we mean chunks. You can see those bad boys from a mile away.
I mean, you'd think the damn jalapeno would have cleared up your sinuses, but no!
If you enjoy spicy food, this flavor is perfect for you because it'll definitely add some heat to your meal. If you're hardcore, you can even try eating it by itself, though that isn't recommended because, well, hello, spicy? If you want to make a Spam burrito, this is a perfect choice. Wrap Spam jalapeno in a tortilla along with scrambled eggs, bell peppers, cheddar cheese, and green salsa, and ole! Spam with Chorizo Seasoning.
Chorizo.
Hey, it's chorizo!
Aesthetically speaking, Spam with Chorizo Seasoning takes the cake.
Hola. You like chorizo?
Unfortunately, that's the only thing it gets right. While you can still taste the chorizo flavor, it's mild at best, and you'd probably have better luck making it yourself. If you're looking for anything spicy, you definitely won't find it here. So we'd suggest the jalapeno or hot and spicy flavors instead. You can always add a bit or a lot of hot sauce on top, which will give you enough heat to face the day. With the seasoning, this Spam tastes more like sausage than classic Spam, especially if you cut it into cubes and fry it in a pan. If you like your Spam mixed with eggs, this is one of the better flavors to use for your breakfast. Eat it when you get out of bed, and you'll be starting your day off on the right foot.
Morning, sunshine.
Teriyaki Spam.
Teriyaki isn't from China?
While teriyaki spam doesn't exactly taste like teriyaki, it does have a classic soy sauce flavor and is extremely sweet. Because of its sweetness, teriyaki spam stands out from all of the other flavors. Satisfying your sweet tooth can be a good thing or a bad thing, depending on what you use your spam for. This flavor would go well in musubi, a Hawaiian dish that uses spam instead of seafood, stir-fry, or any other Hawaiian-inspired dish that blends Japanese cuisine with spam. However, if you're health-conscious, you should know that teriyaki spam has 5 grams of carbs per serving, including 4 grams of added sugar.
It's too sweet.
Compared to classic spam, which only has 1 carb per serving, that's a big difference. So if you're not into the sweetness or the extra carbs, we'd suggest you take your spam-related adventures elsewhere. Spam less sodium.
You know, I'm trying to lose weight. God!
Once again, trying to make things a little healthier, Hormel released Spam Less Sodium, which has less sodium than classic Spam. So for those of you who are curious, a 12-ounce can of classic Spam has 4,740 milligrams of sodium, which is more than double the recommended daily intake. Spam Less Sodium only contains 3,480 milligrams of sodium. While still more than the recommended daily amount, it's still noticeably less than before. Considering their first attempt to make things healthier with Spam Lite didn't hit the taste buds the same way as classic Spam, it's surprising to know that while it does come off as milder than the classic, this type of Spam is actually still pretty good.
Yummy!
That being said, if you want something with more flavor, this might not be the perfect can to try out.
Needs flavor.
Garlic Spam.
Don't forget the garlic nuts, garlic nuts, garlic nuts!
If you like to cook your Spam, garlic Spam wasn't made for you. Unlike its siblings, when heated up, this Spam turns into a soupy, garlicky mess. But as long as you don't heat it, the texture is still pretty different from Spam Classic, but it's totally fine. On the downside, this stuff also smells very strongly of garlic, meaning that if you eat it, people will know. It doesn't matter if you brush your teeth right after, it's still there. So if you want to cook something for your date next Friday, we strongly suggest staying away from garlic Spam. Or, let's be honest, any kind of Spam, really. That being said, if you love the taste of garlic and you're alone in quarantine, or if you're facing off against hordes of vampires, this is a great choice.
How do you like them apples? Garlic.
Spam with Portuguese sausage seasoning. Known as Spam PS in many parts of the world, particularly in Hawaii, the Portuguese sausage seasoning Spam is supposedly amazing.
It's so good.
Compared to Spam Classic, it has a richer flavor profile that adds a wonderful burst to any meal you're cooking. This type of Spam certainly packs a punch of flavor, which makes it a perfect addition to eggs or rice. If you've been around Spam for a long time and are looking for something to reinvigorate your love for this canned meat, Spam with Portuguese sausage seasoning is definitely the way to go. Right out of the can, it smells like Italian wedding soup, and in your belly, it feels even better.
Sausage! Where's my sausage?
Spam with Tocino Seasoning.
What's that?
Spam with Tocino Seasoning was made for people in the Philippines. A little history for you. Spam became a popular part of Filipino cuisine ever since Americans brought it there during World War II. If you travel to the Philippines, you'll almost always find Spam served alongside rice and often with an egg that has either been hard-boiled or fried. This Spam comes out of the can red, but don't let that fool you. It's not because of spiciness, it's because of the paprika.
Little seasoning.
All you need to do is fry it up, put it on top of a bed of rice, and add an egg if you feel like it. The sweetness will catch your attention and tempt you into having seconds.
Well, I must admit it's not bad.
Classic Spam.
Of course!
It should come as no surprise that no matter how many different flavors of Spam exist out there, classic Spam is going to be the Spam that people are drawn to.
Always a classic choice.
The true charm of classic Spam is its sheer versatility. There are so many different Spam recipes, it would take centuries to get through all of them. If you've never tried this classic American invention before, the best way to introduce your taste buds to Spam is to fry it and then add a slice of all-American cheese on top. That cheese slice will help bring out all the best flavors in the Spam and will make it easier to deal with the initial shock of the saltiness. Spam fans of all stripes can thank the original for the multitude of flavors we have today.
Egg and spam? Egg, bacon, and spam?
Tap or click for more great videos and show us some love and click that subscribe button and ring that notification bell.